in my early life, I had a hatred of Jesus and God and ministers and church and so on. And it was a powerful thing. But in my 50s, I found myself lying on the floor in my house, no one near me, weeping like a baby, hearing voices. The strange thing was I was losing my business and my home at that time. I thought I was losing my mind as well. But it turned out to be my salvation experience. And after that, I thought there must be a catalyst, there must be another story. There must be something between my early life and that. And I realised it was a story concerning my late wife, and that's the story I'd like to tell you now. She lived in a house with her grandmother, her mother, and a disabled aunt. Her father was killed during the war, and she didn't know him. And she was a quiet, peaceful lady, but suddenly, when her mother died, she found that although they lived in this little council house, there was a great debate about what happened to her mother's stuff and the granny's stuff and so on. And it started to trouble my wife, and they phoned her in their house, and it became a nasty, nasty thing. And as I say, she was quiet, peaceful lady. However, I drove her through to Dundee to meet with all these aunts, 4 or 5 of them in this house. And I was asked to wait outside, but I could hear my wife shouting. I'd never heard that before. So I went into the house to see what was going on, and as I was going in, she was coming out, and she said, "You, out." And we travelled back to our home, and she never spoke the whole way, a journey of an hour or so. And towards the end of it, she said, "I trust you and my 2 daughters, and I trust no one else in this world." And she changed from this beautiful, lovely, chatty, talkative lady into a sort of shrew-like lady, and she just was different. And I didn't like this new lady so much. And here's this man who hated ministers and so on saying, in my massive arrogance, I phoned one and asked him if he'd come and speak to my wife. And he said he would, provided she agreed. So again, with massive arrogance, I asked her, and she said, "Well, if you've done all that, yes, I'll speak to him." And he came. He arrived at my house, and he just came in the door and said to me, "Would you go and make the coffee, please?" And I thought, yeah, a typical minister is 2 minutes from my house, he's telling me what to do. But I was wanting to be part of the mumbo-jumbo. I wanted to know what he did, what the mumbo-jumbo was. So he didn't get nice coffee, I'm afraid. He got 2-minute instant. I made this coffee, knocked on the door and said, "Coffee!" And they said, "Come in." It had only been 2 minutes. And I wondered, and when I put the tray down, I looked at my wife, I saw that she was changed back. She had this beautiful smile. She was herself again. I thought, oh, goodness, I wonder what they did. I wonder if they spoke about me. And I said to the minister, "It's getting late, Stuart." He said, "It's only the back of 8, Finlay." I said, "Yeah, but it's getting dark out." He said, "Yes, but I'm a big boy now. I'm out in the dark." But he got the message and he left. And I said to my wife, "Oh, what was the mumbo-jumbo? What happened?" She said, "Oh, you wouldn't be interested." I said, I am, honestly, I am. She said, "Well, it was just a Bible reading." And I said, "Okay, well, what was it?" She said, "It was Matthew 5 and 9. And I said, "Oh, I don't have a Bible. We don't have a Bible." And she said, "Of course we've got Bibles." So she produced a Bible, and I went through it, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, eventually came to Matthew, and I read, "Blessed is the peacemaker." And I thought, for goodness sake, that's rubbish. And she said, "No, it's not. It's Jesus' words." And I said to the minister, I didn't want the stuff in my mother's house because I had a few reminders of her, so they were happy to keep it. I said, "So I just came away to save any further trouble." And he said, "Yes, blessed is the peacemaker." Roma, he said to her, "You did exactly what Jesus would have had you do." And that's what she said. And I thought, well, that's a lot. So I threw this Bible onto the settee. But I couldn't throw it out of my heart. And I kept thinking, 4 words. Blessed are the peacemakers. That changed her life. It's just incredible to me that it changed her life. So we went on from there, and I found a few days later myself astonishingly saying to her, "Sweetheart, would you like to go to church?" And she said, "I'll go to church if you'll come with me." And I did go. And I've gone ever since. I didn't understand the thing that happened when I was in my 50s, me lying on the floor crying and all that. But I met a man in the street and I said to him, "Alan, you're a Christian, aren't you?" He said, "Yes." And I said, "So you are you?" I said, I am now, but I'm a funny kind of Christian. I go to this big church, but they don't seem to like me too much. And I explained that nobody understood about my crying. So he invited me to a meeting, which was actually a dinner in a hotel. It was a full gospel businessmen's fellowship. And he was a man telling a story almost like mine. And he was a group of men loving each other in fellowship. And I was amazed. I felt so good. And I just absorbed the whole idea of this full gospel businessmen's fellowship. And it changed my life. And I knew that I had a one-to-one relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ. And it was paramount in my life. So I'd just like to say to you, if you don't know Jesus, invite him into your life. It's easy to do. It doesn't cost you anything. Tell him you were sorry for anything you may have done in the past. It wasn't so wonderful. And he will forgive you. He will come into your life and he will change you. And in this, I only want to give you one definite thing that will be to your advantage. When Jesus changes you, you will be changed for the better. And so will your entire life, family, and all that you know. And just as a tailpiece before I finish, it occurred to me when I was thinking about this, that 2 people were changed by these 4 words. My late wife and myself. So thank you very much for your patience and listening. And God bless you all. Thank you.